Rest in power to Akira Toriyama. I must confess, when I saw the tweet that he had passed away, I actually checked the date because I thought it was April Fool's. I literally thought there is no way. Like, I thought this had to be fake. It was a bait. It was something. And I just kept seeing the tweets pour in. And man, when I tell you that the anime and manga community are devastated right now, it's an understatement. It is not an exaggeration to say that Akira Toriyama was the Stan Lee of the anime world. I would even say that his reach was even larger. But I and many other young men and young women as well can attest to the fact that our first glimpse into the world of anime and manga was by Dragon Ball, by his creation. And that really pushed us into the door, into the genre that we know and love. And honestly, man, without Dragon Ball, I would not be sitting here doing what I love today, making YouTube videos. I've talked before about how I really got into anime and manga by, collecting my first ever Shonen Jump magazine at my school's book fair, but my introduction to that world was even before then. Granted, that was the deep dive, but I distinctly remember at one of my super far away cousin's house, I remember him and I chilling out in his basement. We were playing some Wii Sports, and then he booted up a game, and it looked really cool. It had all these cool, interesting characters, all these super cool effects. These big burly guys are fighting, and it was Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Now, I had heard the name Goku, and I had kind of seen these things running around, but I never had actually had a hands-on experience with them. And so when I saw him play it, I was like, oh man, this is so cool. This is so cool. And it's crazy because I actually was so enamored by that experience. I wanted that game for myself. And for that upcoming Christmas, I asked my mom for the Budokai Tenkaichi game, and she got me Budokai Tenkaichi 2. And that was the first Dragon Ball game I had ever played. And on my following birthday, I got Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Then here's actually a picture of me holding that disc when I opened it up for the first time, man. I was so hyped. And that's what really plunged me into the world of Dragon Ball, man. Now, granted, yes, I did read the manga at a certain point when I was able to receive it. I would rent it out from my school's library. They would have about 7 to 8 different volumes, depending on how many they had in stock or how many people were renting out. But yeah, and I actually distinctly remember, I'm actually bringing up old memories now. When I was about the age of 12 to 11, I went back and I would actually grab volumes of Dragon Ball, OG Dragon Ball, to kind of read and see what that was about, because I had never really gone back that far. I knew of it. I knew it from the games and whatnot, but I never really got into it myself. It's funny because I actually rented out one of those 3-in-1s by my local library, as well as I believe it was a Bleach guide with different power things with the characters and all these cool trivia facts and all those. It was one of those fan books, and I actually ended up losing it, and I was so scared to go back to that library. I haven't been back since. That's actually a pretty funny memory. I just This is crazy, man. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Akira Toriyama's reach was, absolutely crazy, because we already know this. I'm not gonna sit here and say the same thing that everyone else is saying, content creator wise and all that. But I just want to give my experience on how I got into Dragon Ball. And dude, you look at all these different authors, these modern day authors, to say that Akira Toriyama was the godfather of the shonen genre, you're not even putting enough respect on his name. Toonami, the anime industry, would not be where it is if it was not for his work. I'm telling you, it just wouldn't. There's so many animators, so many people in the fitness community, there's so many people in the gaming community that are inspired by Goku, by Vegeta. There was that kid years back, I want to say it was about 3-4 years back, who I believe he got attacked by bees or something like that, and he remembered Vegeta never giving up, and Vegeta was his favorite Dragon Ball character. And while it's it's a little corny and all this, that's still an inspiring story. This is the kind of effect that this man's characters and his world created. I believe One Piece's author Oda actually made a pretty heartbreaking tweet. I'll see if I can find it and put it on screen now, but this is absolutely heartbreaking. Obviously, please send your thoughts and prayers out to his family. I personally do not know if he has any children. I believe his private life, for his own safety, and obviously I'm sure as he wanted, has always been pretty vague and pretty scarce. So obviously, if he has any children or anything like that, same thing, hearts and prayers go out to them. But man, what a profound legacy to leave upon the world. Absolutely. This is the kind of stuff that we'll talk about generations down the line, man. Like that's so crazy. Like imagine it's even hard to contemplate, right? It is being laid to rest, right? Your body, right, is being put down into the earth once more, and your soul is going off to wherever, right? And just to know that there are millions upon millions upon millions of people grieving your death simultaneously, you can't even think about it. It's mind-boggling, right? But yeah, man, I just wanted to sit and then just talk about my experience with Dragon Ball, man. And then I actually remember a time when Nicktoons was airing Dragon Ball Z Kai, and then I started watching Dragon Ball semi-weekly. You know what I mean? I wasn't around when Toonami was like at its peak in the 90s. I was born in November of 99, so around like 2000, 2001, 2002, I didn't really have that many memories. I have like screenshots, if that makes sense. So being in my mom's room and hanging out with her, chilling, and then watching like the Frieza saga for me for the first time was so wild. It's one of those core memories I have, man. Actually, I remember having another one of those 3-in-1s my mom bought for me. It was the conclusion of Gohan versus Cell, and I would take that with me everywhere. Like me and my mom and my dad, we'd be going out to dinner, and I would bring that with me. And granted, I had reread it like tons of times, but I always just loved seeing it again and again and again. I was obsessed with it. It was my favorite thing to bring. I would have that. I'd have my PSP, and I would be chilling. And this man, he started out as a gag author, and then when he actually focused on the action, he was so disturbingly good at it. People to this day are trying to mimic and follow how he was so effortlessly able to give motion, to give weight to these punches in his art. His art is flawed. Like Akira Toriyama in his prime, each individual movement, punch, you were able to effortlessly see it. Like, even look at the best example I can think of off the top of my head, when Vegeta kicks Cell, when Super Vegeta kicks Cell in his stomach, or when Goku uppercuts Frieza in his stomach, right? When he first goes into Super Saiyan, things like that, right? Just this man gave so much power to the anime genre. It can't be quantified. It's astonishing. It's unbelievable. So yeah, man, just down in the comments below, give me your experience with Dragon Ball. Give me your first introduction to the world of anime. Did Dragon Ball have anything significant to do with it? Which I'm sure it did. I'm 100% sure it did. Just let me know how Dragon Ball has affected and molded your guys' life, man. Like I said, I would not be here today doing YouTube. I'm sure so many other authors would not be here without Akira Toriyama's prowess as an artist and his strength as an author for making you care about these characters, man. But yeah, man, like I said, rest in power, Akira Toriyama, and I'll see you guys in the next video, man. Y'all take care. Have a good one. Peace.